Welcome to About Mansfield. It's your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Somark Studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel, even when she's on vacation, she takes her laptop with her. This is the June 18th, 2025, 276th edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield News, Talk, and Information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
Police investigate weekend stabbing on South Main.
Mansfield Fire Department makes quick work of construction trailer blaze.
On-demand shuttle service in Mansfield to end in July.
Summit principal reflects on 15 minutes of fame.
Rose Park Playground temporarily closed for repairs.
And in sports, North Texas SC falls short in home field play.
And in the talk segment, Steve concludes his travels around the country with Mansfield resident Steve Binkley. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and summer is here, and you know what that means. It's the perfect time to visit Hawaiian Falls. Right now, Hawaiian Falls Mansfield Staycation Splash Pass is only $49.99 plus tax and includes unlimited visits all season long. With fun and refreshing attractions for the entire family, there is no better way to cool off and make fun family memories all summer long. To purchase your pass and to find out more information on operating days and hours, check out hfalls.com. Again, that is hfalls.com. Mahalo.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
Hi, I'm Ebony Turner, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by Vault Seafood and Steakhouse.
Mansfield police are investigating a stabbing that occurred Saturday night at a private residence on the 400 block of South Main Street. Just after 10:25 p.m., officers responded to a call from a 49-year-old woman who reported she had been stabbed by an unknown man who then fled the scene. First responders arrived and found the woman with 2 stab wounds to her torso. She was transported by Mansfield Fire Rescue medics to Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, where she was treated and is currently listed in stable condition. According to police, the victim told investigators that she was at home when she heard a knock at the front door, followed by the door handle being twisted. After opening the door, she said a man asked about someone she knew before attacking her with a kitchen knife. Police searched the area but did not locate a suspect. Detectives believe this was an isolated incident. The suspect is described as a younger black male, medium complexion, thin to average build, approximately 5'7" to 5'9", with short hair. Anyone with information is asked to contact Detective Weston Wells at 817-276-4737. Again, that's 817-276-4737. Tips can also be submitted through the Mansfield Police Department's non-emergency line at 817-473-0000. 0211.
A construction trailer caught fire Tuesday evening outside Sam's Club and also near the timber department of Lowe's. Fire crews responded quickly after a 911 call came from a bystander and found flames coming from the trailer's rooftop air conditioning unit. Maybe you saw it. Smoke could be seen for miles around. Crews forced entry through a locked construction fencing and knocked down the blaze, which was mostly contained to the trailer's exterior with minor interior damage. Smoke briefly entered Sam's Club through an open side door, triggering the fire alarm and prompting an evacuation. Firefighters from Engines 2 and 4, as well as Battalion 1, cleared the building, reset the alarm, and allowed shoppers back inside shortly thereafter. No injuries were reported. Nearby structures were not damaged.
Trinity Metro's on-demand ride service in Mansfield will come to a close on July 11th, marking the end of a one-year pilot program. City officials say they are unable to continue the program without the federal grant funding that covered most of its first-year costs. The app-based service allowed riders to book shared van rides anywhere within city limits. Since its inception in July 2024, the service has offered over 15,000 rides, averaging 33 daily riders through May 2025. The service will continue to run Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. With 3 vans in the fleet, the average wait time has been 26 minutes. While the service was available to all Mansfield residents, it was especially popular with students traveling to and from the Tarrant County College Southeast campus. The City of Mansfield thanked residents who used the service and said the pilot program provided valuable insight into public transit needs.
It was back in 1968 that painter Andy Warhol coined the phrase, "In the future, everyone will be world famous for 15 minutes." And locally, it's happened. The principal for Summit High School, we call him Coach Mutt. He's on the line with us. Jason Mutterer, welcome to About Mansfield.
Good morning, Steve. Thank you for having me this morning.
You went from writing a handful, let's say 443 handwritten notes to your graduating class of 2025. You went from writing handwritten notes to NBC's Today Show. Is that what you were expecting?
No, not at all. I was expecting just for my seniors to get a note and a dollar bill and to have something that they could have for the rest of their life, something tangible that they could leave Summit High School with. And when times got tough, they could pull that letter out and they could read that letter to let them know how much they're cared about or were cared about here at Summit High School. That was my intention.
Is this an original idea, or have you been writing notes for the years that you've been the principal?
So I write notes. When I was the head basketball coach here at Summit High School, I wrote notes every year to our seniors. And I write notes occasionally to our staff members and to students across our campus. But as far as a 443 or to every one of our seniors, this was the first time I did that.
And you included a $1 bill. The purpose of the $1 was?
To show students that while $1 seems insignificant, and truly it is in today's society, but if you put 443 of those things together, or 443 random acts of kindness, or 443 opportunities for Summit High School students to show the world what Summit Love is, it can be impactful, and it can cause a ripple effect that can have a huge impact on our society, in a society that truly needs it today.
And let's talk about that ripple effect, because what started as a few Facebook posts eventually were shared to local news, and then local news shared it with national news. You wound up on the Today Show.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. I grew up watching the Today Show, so to say that I ever thought I'd ever be there, no, and I didn't think that was going to happen at all.
Walk us through the process then. What were you doing when you received the phone call from the Today Show producer?
Yeah, it was really crazy, right? So she sent me an email on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, said that we'd like to have you on the Today Show, that we want to produce a clip there at your school and then fly you out to New York City the Wednesday night, and then have you on the Today Show Thursday morning. And so everything happened really quick and really fast, which is probably a good thing because I didn't have much time to think about it or ruminate on anything. With just lots of communication back and and forth with the producer there in New York City, which, by the way, they are phenomenal, great personalities and kind people.
I would assume, as with national TV, they had a car ready for you at the airport. They had accommodations for you overnight, or at least you were treated well.
Correct. Yes, sir. So when I got into New York City, there was a driver waiting for me when I got off the plane and got my bag. And then when I got to the hotel that night, they put me up at the Manhattan, right there on Times Square. Got in late because of the weather that we had Wednesday here in DFW, so got into my room and got settled about midnight, and I got a text message from her while the producer from NBC while I was en route to New York City, and she gave me the time that they would pick me up at 6:50 the next morning, which again they did. There was a car waiting for me, and then that car waited for dropped me off at the front door of Rockefeller Center, and then that they picked me up. That same driver was there and drove me back to LaGuardia, all within less than 24 hours.
So you didn't have a chance to go out and do a little sightseeing?
Did not. No. Been to New York. My wife and I have been to New York City 3 times, and we love it. But no, it was fast. It was a whirlwind, in and out, basically.
Are you enjoying the ride? Your 15 minutes of fame.
What I enjoy is that it has sparked some people to do similar types of things. Just give you an example, I had somebody reach out to me who was a bus driver in Montana, and she said it inspired her to do something for her seniors this year, that she loved the story. So things like that, that's the awesomeness that comes out of this is people are able to now share random acts of kindness to young people,
sure,
which sometimes we overlook those young people in our society.
Can we go back to the Coach Mutt days? You were the boys basketball coach for 15 years?
Yes, sir. Head boys basketball coach here at Summit High School. I opened it up, and we opened up in the fall of 2002, 2003. I opened the school up as the head boys basketball coach. And
now they are the state champion Summit High School Jags. How do you feel about that, principal coach?
Man, what a great year. I mean, it's again, just something that I dreamt of, building that foundation, wanted obviously to lead one of our amazing teams that we had while we were here at Summit High School to that state championship. And it couldn't happen to a better coach than Coach Imam Pritchett, and not only his coaching staff, but also the players, like phenomenal young men that we have here on that basketball program.
Jason, I'd like to give people a closing moment, if you wish, a chance for you to give any shout outs or thanks or advice. Anything on your mind? Sure. I'd love to shout out, first of all, my family. I have a very supportive family at home. My wife, Jenny. I have 3 daughters, Grace, Emma, and Lily. But then I'd like to shout out our staff and our students and our community here at Summit High School, who every day, we do there's hundreds of similar acts of what we call Summit Love across our campus that's done by both students and staff. And I just want to shout that out because it goes unseen, but it doesn't go unnoticed on our campus. And so those are very important. And I think that's my message to everybody, that no act is too small. While you think it doesn't matter, it truly matters to many, many people that you come in contact with every day. And may the Summit love that you put on your campus, may that spread to Timberview love and Lake Ridge love and Legacy love and Mansfield love. I'm trying to get all of the high schools in there. Again, the ripple effect where you've got something going on your campus that hopefully will lead not only to the 5 campuses here in Mansfield ISD, but all over the country, all over the world. Like I've said, it's something small, but it's so important, and it's purposeful, right? You see a need, you feel a need, you see a relationship that needs to be built, you build that relationship. It's just slowing down and taking the time to see people who need to be seen every single day. And that can be students, but it also can be staff members as well. Coach Mutt, Jason Mutterer, the principal at Summit High School, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on your 15 minutes of fame, and thanks for being on About Mansfield. Thank you, Steve. It's truly an honor to be on About Mansfield.
The playground at Catherine Rose Memorial Park is closed this week while crews repair damaged surfacing. City officials are urging families to keep children and pets away from the work area and not to bypass fences or barriers. The material used in the repairs needs 1 to 2 days to dry, and early use could damage the surface and delay the reopening. If weather and visitor cooperation allow, the playground is expected to reopen by Friday, June 20th. The repairs are temporary and intended to address safety hazards until a full playground replacement is completed later this year. Officials also confirmed that resurfacing needs at other parks, including Chandler Park, are scheduled for later, with major work planned after summer to avoid disrupting seasonal activities. For alternative play areas, the city recommends visiting their online park directory at mansfieldtexas.gov.
North Texas SC falls short on home turf. We'll talk about it because sports is next.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party? Multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and summer is here, and you know what that means. It's the perfect time to visit Hawaiian Falls. Right now, Hawaiian Falls Mansfield Staycation Splash Pass is only $49.99 plus tax and includes unlimited visits all season long. With fun and refreshing attractions for the entire family, there is no better way to cool off and make fun family memories all summer long. To purchase your pass and to find out more information on operating days and hours, check out hfalls.com. Again, that is hfalls.com. Mahalo.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
In sports, North Texas Soccer Club came up short Saturday night at Choctaw Stadium, falling 2-1 to Austin FC 2. In MLS Next Pro action, midfielder Alejandro Uzura provided the lone highlight for the home side, netting his first goal of the season in the 78th minute. It was his 37th appearance since debuting in 2022. Goalkeeper JT Harms returned to the starting lineup and set a personal best with 5 saves. Harms now has 1 shutout and 13 total stops on the year. Despite a late push, North Texas could not recover from Austin's 2 early goals and now falls to 2, 2, and 3 all-time against Austin FC 2. Head coach John Gall called it a disappointing performance, saying the team didn't respond until it was too late. With 15 games left to play in the season, North Texas SC stands at 5th place in the 14-team standings and now shifts their focus to the next match against Colorado Wednesday night. Also in sports, 5-star offensive tackle Felix Ojo, we've talked about him a lot recently, visited the University of Texas over the weekend as part of his official recruiting tour. Ojo is a standout from Lake Ridge High School. He is ranked as the top player in Texas and the number 3 offensive tackle nationwide. The 6'7", 275-pound senior has been weighing offers from top programs including Georgia, Ohio State, and Michigan. He has already visited Ole Miss, Texas Tech, Colorado, and Florida. A scheduled visit to Oklahoma on June 20th was canceled. While in Austin, Ojo posed with current Longhorn lineman Trevor Gooseby, posting a photo on his X account with the question, "The present and the future?" Though he hasn't announced a commitment date, recruiting analysts say Texas is the current frontrunner. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, the good, the bad, the ugly, you can reach us by voicemail at 817-435-2938. This coming Saturday, June 21st, is National Daylight Appreciation Day, a lighthearted reminder to step outside and soak up the sunshine. Celebrated on or near the summer solstice, it's about recognizing the power of natural light to lift our mood, fuel our vitamin D, and maybe even give our houseplants a little extra love. Experts say just 15 minutes of sunlight can boost your energy and improve your sleep. And let's face it, it's cheaper than coffee. So whether you're heading out for a walk, cracking open a window, or just basking in the glow from your porch, Saturday is the perfect excuse to enjoy the longest days of sunlight of the year. Besides, remember this, no one looks good under fluorescent lights.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
I'm Angel Biasatti, and today we'll be talking about mindful bites, food cravings, and how to take care of your body and mind together. And Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, we're celebrating the quintessential flavors of the summer in one gloriously simple package.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
Congratulations to Pamela Hoffman, who knew that Johnson County contains more Mansfield real estate than Ellis County. Approximately 12.6 square miles of Mansfield lies within Johnson County, while Ellis County claims only 2 square miles. And here's a fun fact. According to the Department of the Interior, Mansfield was wholly contained within Tarrant County until the 1980s, when small portions of the city were annexed to Ellis and Johnson counties. When we come back, this week's trivia question. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. I've mentioned this before. Not everyone wins on a Wednesday, so if you're listening on Thursday, Friday, or whenever, give it a shot. You may be taking home a $25 restaurant gift card. Colleen, in English, it's your turn.
Well, Steve, Mansfield is a melting pot of nationalities and ethnicities, and the kiddos who attend the 49 school campuses in the Mansfield Independent School District undoubtedly are living proof. This week's question is, other than English, how many languages are spoken within the Mansfield Independent School District? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, excluding English, how many languages are spoken within Mansfield ISD? Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
Hi, this is Mansfield ISD Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Cantu, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti is here with tips on how to keep your snacking to a minimum when the midnight fridge is calling your name in Methodist Mansfield News to Know. Angel?
We've all experienced food cravings. We've all stared into the fridge or pantry looking for something to satisfy that salt or sweet craving. Food cravings are pretty common, but when they start to take control over what and when we eat, that's when we need to hit the brakes. Cravings can be harmless in moderation, but left unchecked, they can lead to some unhealthy patterns. So how do we manage those cravings? Cravings often have nothing to do with what our body actually needs. They're usually a reflection of our mental state. Cravings sometimes strike when we're bored, sad, anxious, or stressed. And let's be honest, they're hard to ignore. But don't worry, here's some tips to help you kick those cravings to the curb. First, drink water. Before you open that bag of chocolate chips or potato chips, try drinking a glass of cold water. Sometimes cravings aren't about hunger, they're about thirst. When we're dehydrated, the part of our brain responsible for hunger signals get confused and sends out the same signal for thirst. So take a moment to hydrate. If after about 10 minutes you're still craving something, go ahead and indulge in a small portion, but hydration is key. Tip 2, check in with yourself. Are you truly hungry, or are you just in the mood for something salty or sweet? If it's real hunger, then a healthy meal first. A plate of lean protein, vegetables, fruit, and whole grains should fill you up and help curb cravings. And if you're still craving a treat afterward, go ahead and enjoy it as a treat, not as a meal. Tip 3, remember moderation. Let's get real. That bag of chips or chocolate bar, it's not inherently bad, but moderation is key. There are no good or bad foods, just foods we should enjoy in moderation. Check the nutritional label. Portion out a serving. If you're having chips, count out your serving and close that bag. Put it away and savor every bite. Mindful eating helps you enjoy your treats without going overboard. Now let's talk snacks. Because let's face it, sometimes cravings just don't let up. Here are some healthy snacks to satisfy both your sweet and salty cravings without derailing your health goals. Fresh fruit. Sliced apples, strawberries, bananas, peaches, whatever fruit you love. You can even take it to the next level with adding peanut butter for protein, or blend it into a smoothie with almond milk. Dark chocolate and almonds. No need to completely skip the candy aisle. A small portion of dark chocolate paired with some almonds is a great way to satisfy that sweet craving while getting some plant-based protein. Here's a tip. Healthy snacks to satisfy your salt craving. Fresh vegetables, cucumbers, bell peppers, carrots, sugar snap peas. Dip them in Greek yogurt or hummus for an extra flavor boost. Triscuits. If you're craving something salty and crunchy, go for the Triscuits. They're high in fiber and only have a few ingredients, making them a healthier choice when you want something savory. Popcorn. Who doesn't love popcorn? 3 cups of popcorn make a great snack. Just skip that butter and don't overload the salt. Cook it in a little olive oil, then sprinkle it with herbs or rosemary or chili flakes for a delicious twist. So there you have it, some simple strategies to keep your cravings in check and healthier snack options to indulge when those cravings strike you. Remember, cravings don't need to control you. With a little mindfulness and balance, you can enjoy your treats and still take care of your body. Until next time, stay hydrated, stay balanced, stay mindful. I'm Angel Biasatti, reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a quintessential taste of the South in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian?
Today, we're featuring another bourbon cocktail that captures the essence of Southern hospitality, perfect for enjoying as the sun dips low on our warm summer evening. Today's feature is the Southern Sunset. It's a refreshing blend of bourbon, sweet peach, and cooled iced tea that's as relaxing as watching the sun go down from your porch swing. This cocktail marries 3 iconic Southern flavors in a drink that's simultaneously sophisticated and down-home comforting. Its mellow sweetness and slightly tannic edge from the tea make it an exceptional companion to the barbecue smoky flavors. So what are we going to need to make this special cocktail? First off, bourbon, 2 ounces. For this tea-based cocktail, a bourbon with a good amount of oak and some spice works beautifully. We're going to make a peach component, about 1 ounce per cocktail. You have several options here. Peach nectar provides the most intense fruit flavor, while peach preserves offer a jammy richness. Now, for me, the peach preserves are the way to go, and there are plenty of great local brands in our local stores. But for the maximum control over sweetness, you can make a peach simple syrup by simmering diced peaches with equal parts sugar and water, then straining. For an adults-only barbecue, peach liqueur often adds complex sweetness with an extra kick. Then unsweetened iced tea, about 3 ounces per cocktail. Brew your favorite black tea a little bit stronger than you would normally. So I suggest 2 tea bags per cup of water, steep for 5 minutes. Chill thoroughly before using. The tannins in the tea add complexity and balance to the sweetness of the peach while providing that unmistakable southern refreshment factor. Optional add-ins, you can use a little bit of lemon juice, about 1/4 of an ounce, that can help brighten the flavors, and a dash of aromatic bitters adds complexity. Garnishes, you can use a peach slice, a lemon wheel, or a sprig of fresh mint or fresh basil. And ice, lots and lots of ice. Glassware, a traditional highball glass or a Collins glass is perfect for this cocktail, although a mason jar or the ever-present red Solo cup may be even more appropriate for its southern heritage. For a crowd-pleasing presentation at barbecues, consider serving in a clear glass pitcher with lots of fruit garnish. How do we make it? Fill a highball glass or mason jar or red Solo cup with ice. Ideally use larger ice cubes or spheres, which will melt more slowly and prevent dilution. You're going to add 2 ounces of bourbon to your glass, then 1 ounce of your chosen peach component. If you're using the peach preserves, you may want to dissolve them with a little small amount of hot water to create a little bit more pourable consistency. Then gently pour 3 ounces of the chilled unsweet iced tea over the mixture, allowing it to cascade down a bar spoon to create the layers if desired. Then give the drink a gentle stir, enough just to incorporate the ingredients while maintaining some of the layered effect, which creates the sunset appearance, which gives this cocktail its name. And then garnish with a fresh peach slice and a sprig of mint or basil. For your maximum aroma, give the mint a gentle slap between your palms before adding it to the drink. A little slap goes a long way. And this releases the essential oils. The Southern Sunset pairs exceptionally well with smoked beef brisket, even better with a bourbon-based barbecue sauce, grilled pork chops with a peach chutney, Memphis-style dried ribs, or smoked or grilled sausage. The subtle sweetness and tea tannins in this cocktail component add to the savory, smoky flavors of the barbecue, while the bourbon echoes the wood smoke already used in the cooking process. In closing, the Southern Sunset captures the best of Southern hospitality in liquid form. It's approachable, refreshing, and brings together the beloved region's flavors in a drink that's perfect for a lazy summer evening beside the grill. With its beautiful layered appearance and balanced flavor profile, it's sure to become a staple at your warm weather gatherings. As always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with the conclusion of Steve's interview with national traveler Steve Binkley.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Brian McFadden, the Executive Director for Mansfield Mission Center, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk, and today we present part 2 of our National Traveler interview with Mansfield resident Steve Binkley. Enjoy. Let's talk about something that is on my bucket list. 30 baseball parks.
Yeah.
You visited not only all the national parks, but you've been to every Major League Baseball park.
Yeah. And so I think that's something actually a lot of people have done. It's America's pastime.
Sure.
Both my boys are baseball players. My youngest is still playing baseball in Lubbock at Lubbock Christian. And then my oldest played through high school and college as well. So we have a love for the game. Went out to the Rangers game this past weekend. The roof was open, had just a wonderful time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, even the Rangers and the Braves will open up a new stadium every decade or so.
Well, I was going to ask, because the Rangers have had 3 ballparks since moving to Texas from Washington.
Yes.
Have you been to all 3?
So if you counted total ballparks, I've been to more than 30.
Right.
Growing up in Ohio, Riverfront, and then the Great American Ballpark, they have 2. The Braves have had 3 recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, the A's have moved. They're going to eventually move to Las Vegas. So you're kind of looking ahead to that, right?
Yeah. When's my next trip to Vegas?
Right. Yeah. And then the Rays lived in Florida. I went to Florida State University, and my family is still in Florida. Yeah, they got hit with the hurricane there in St. Pete, so they ripped the roof off the Dome Stadium there in St. Pete, and they're playing for 2 years at the Yankees AAA ballpark in Tampa. So, yeah, I have a trip planned in August to go now to Sacramento and then back home to Tampa to kind of, I guess, check the box. I suppose it's a conversational piece. You and I are enjoying discussing this
over a glass of bourbon. Yes, at 9 a.m. on a Friday. But it's good for the throat.
For medicinal purposes only. Yeah.
You brought up a great point. How many AAA ballparks have you been to?
Okay, yeah. So I have
or spring training ballparks.
Great, love spring training. Growing up in Florida, the Grapefruit League, right?
Sure.
So I actually played my high school baseball in Bradenton, Florida, where the Pittsburgh Pirates, McKechnie Field. Love spring training. Yeah, so you go to the Arizona, the Cactus League. So those are great. You got great access to the players, great access to great seats, right? It's a little less expensive probably than going to the big ballpark.
Right.
Yeah.
Growing up in San Diego, we would always go out to Phoenix at Peoria or Surprise or Glendale or where. In fact, we were out there just this past March, and you're right. Less expensive. Ballparks hold maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people. Access to the players. Autographs. You want an autograph? Actually, where did I see this? I saw this at, I think it was at Peoria. There was a sign that says, "Please reserve autographs for kids only."
Okay, right.
And I thought that's brilliant because there are so many people out there who are wanting to get their baseball cards or their baseball signed, and then they wind up on eBay.
Yes.
But for the kids, it's a treat for the kids.
Yes. We have a Josh Hamilton signed baseball bat from Surprise, Arizona.
There you go.
That my oldest son was able to get when he was probably 10 years old. It's still he's a Navy sailor now. I told him he needed to take this stuff with him, and he's like, "Dad, I'm in the Navy. I can't take a baseball bat."
What was the first Major League Baseball park you visited?
Yeah. Okay. Good. So as a youngster in Ohio, it most certainly was a Cincinnati Reds game, and that would have been at the old Riverfront Stadium. Cleveland Indians as well. And of course, as you know, the ballparks have changed massively.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big corporate experience, of course. There's good and bad to that. But it's another reason to appreciate those smaller parks during March for spring training. I think it's a great point. Those are great trips. You could combine going to Peoria, Surprise with the Grand Canyon. It's a great trip in the spring.
Sure. Your initial thought when you first saw Fenway Park?
Okay, good. So I work for a company based out of Boston.
Okay.
And so you haven't asked my favorite park. Fenway is the second favorite.
The second favorite? Okay.
The most favorite, and you'll appreciate this if you've been to a Saturday at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Well, Wrigley was on my list with the ivy walls.
Incredible. And maybe that's, we're maybe you and I are traditionalists, and those are kind of the old school. They're never going to move.
Yeah.
The Cubs. Never say never. The Cubs and the Red Sox, but love those. There's idiosyncrasies. Those seats at Fenway are tiny, and I swear some of the seats point towards right field instead of home plate.
Huh.
But some of the history and tradition, of course, and the iconic ballparks. So number 1, Wrigley. Number 2, Fenway.
Okay, the Green Monster.
Yeah,
it's on my list, and I think I've maybe only been to less than half a dozen. But again, it's on my bucket. My wife and I were. She was attending a conference in Philadelphia. It's like, oh, the Phillies are playing tonight. So, by the way, Philly fans are rabid.
They are.
And I'm sitting there with a I don't know 8, 9, 10-year-old son, and we're up in the cheap seats, and people all around us are dropping F-bombs at the umpire, and it's like, dude, we got a kid here.
Yeah. Just ask Cowboys fans about Philadelphia. So my final 2 major league ballparks, I had 2 left. I had the Phillies, which is PNC's Pittsburgh. But I had the Phillies left, and I had the Cardinals were the last 2. So my buddies are like, okay, what order? I was like, I think I'll most likely, travel. I came into it like which flight, and somebody came up to me and goes, no, you can't go to Philadelphia for your final park. You need to go to you like historic parks.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals and Busch Stadium. So that was my 30th. Met my dad, my brother. We had a great weekend, went to Budweiser, ate great food, saw the Clydesdales, and then saw a Cardinals game, which was fantastic.
Ate great food. That was my next topic. When you go to these ballparks, they traditionally have their own style of food. You go to San Diego, they have sushi there. You've got the Dodger dog, or here in Arlington, the
broomstick.
The 3-foot hot dog. Do you sample the local fare, or are you just hot dog and peanuts?
No, yeah. So I'm a bit of a Yelp nerd as well. So I love a great restaurant. But the one that pops to mind for me, just up the road from San Diego, is AT&T Park where the San Francisco Giants play.
Sure.
Of course, you have the bread bowl, the boudin bread bowls.
Yes.
And you have all the clam chowders and seafood, which you don't typically think of with ballparks. So, and those sections have become bigger and bigger at the ballpark here in Arlington. I guess we've graduated from Globe Life to what are we calling the ballpark these days?
Well, it was Globe Life Park, and now it's Globe Life Field.
Okay. Yes.
Globe and Park has shifted to Choctaw Stadium.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, what are we known for now? Probably Nolan Ryan barbecue, right?
Yeah.
So,
and now is Blue Mint Thai. There's a plug for a Mansfield business.
Absolutely.
Blue Mint Thai and Hurtado's Barbecue.
Absolutely.
Right there in the ballpark.
Yeah.
They started in Arlington, but they have a Mansfield location. So, did you have the sushi in San Diego?
So Petco.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So I've been to Petco twice, probably both times on my own. So my company, I work for a med device company, and San Diego is a big convention town.
It is.
So most likely, and that's a nice thing, being able to travel with work. And then travel, with the boys and their travel baseball. We've been able to combine some trips. Did I have the sushi at Petco? I don't think so. Yeah, because you just don't associate sushi and baseball.
In baseball, right. When they introduced sushi, it was like, wait a second. Now, San Diego is where I grew up.
Uh-huh.
I lived there for 44 years.
Yes.
I've only been to Petco twice because we moved to Texas the year Petco opened.
Yes.
And so I went early in the season. We moved here in July of 2004, the year Petco opened. Prior to that, it was in the Qualcomm Stadium, which they called the Q.
Mm-hmm.
And, countless times I saw Bob Ferguson pitch a game. I was so young, I don't remember anything about the game, but Petco Park, I've only been there twice, but it's one of those. It's one of those where you walk in and you go. There's a wow factor to it with the building out in left field that they've integrated into the park. It's kind of like the first time I walked into Rangers Stadium, the old
ballpark,
Globe Life Park, the one before this indoor park. The first time you walk in, there's definitely a wow factor.
Incredible
to
wow
it.
factor, and still to this day, even though it's set up for football today. And I think what you're referencing, Steve, this idea of experiences, maybe experiences over stuff, and maybe it's taken a while in the family. Like everybody likes to have stuff, but people recognize that an experience, is something that's very special. So, maybe we don't have the latest dinette set at the house. And maybe we've had to kind of come around to that. Let's live modestly, and then let's have some extravagances when we travel,
right?
And do some experience and things that we wouldn't otherwise do back in Mansfield,
and make memories.
Of course,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
when you, for instance, California has 5 baseball fields, San Diego, 2 in Los Angeles, and then 2 in the Bay Area. Do you combine those trips where I'm going to take a week and go up the West Coast?
Yeah. So great question. That takes some advanced planning because, as you know, you can be in Philadelphia and the Phillies cannot be. Right.
Exactly. That's because I was looking at that because my friend lives in the Bay Area, and I thought, okay, San Diego, L.A. Angels and Dodgers, and then go up and see the Giants and the A's, and the A's are out of town.
That's right.
So how do you, when you're looking at that and combining?
Yeah.
How do you plan around?
It's a great point. So Mets, Yankees, specifically, we saw the Mets early in the trip, and then at the end of the trip, the Yankees were back in town from a road trip, and so at the end of the week, we were able to catch both of those. Yeah, and it would make sense, right? If you're in Chicago, you'd like to see both the White Sox and the Cubs, but you got to get out that calendar and put it down. And a lot of times, like I'm still an old school pen and paper guy. I've got, on my desk right now is September of 2025, and I've penciled in, going to Sacramento. So it's on the calendar, and very, very, very rarely would something circumvent, I guess if there was a wedding or a funeral, of course, but we want that experience, and that's kind of set, and we plan around that.
When Yankee Stadium, the new one or the old one?
Yeah, so the new one. So I know people lament that I have not been to the old Brooklyn stadium there.
We went to Brooklyn. I'm sorry. My wife and I went to the new Yankee Stadium just last year. And again, still a wow factor of walking in.
It is.
And how the players are all about, and I would assume they know the reason they are there is because of the fans.
Noah Syndergaard pitched locally here at Legacy High School, and when he did the Mets, we were able to shout at him and say hi. Legacy High School has produced a few Major League Baseball players.
Did your kids play with Noah?
He was so he was in the early days of Mansfield Legacy. Noah Syndergaard, he had a long career, pitched in the World Series for the Mets.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he did. You've been to all 30 plus. The other achievement in your life is you've been to all 50 states.
Yeah.
Which is there anything you haven't done?
Some of those go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
All the travel. That's a good question. So, like, what's next? I've asked my travel group, my buddies, and somebody brought up something interesting. Football, of course. I'm a big football fan. I suppose I don't have probably a need to go see every football stadium, but somebody brought up like hockey arenas, like all the fun towns in Canada, right? Like that would go to Edmonton, right? and see some of those smaller, more intimate type arenas for hockey. I haven't typically been, and now the Stars are a big deal. Maybe it's time to jump on the hockey bandwagon there.
Is there okay? We talked about national parks. We talked about Major League Baseball parks. Is there a state that does not have a Major League Baseball park and does not have a national park? And the question is, what were you doing in that state?
Right. Yeah. Yes, there are plenty of states. Delaware, for instance, comes to mind. I know that they have neither.
And was that just we're just passing through?
Yeah. So how did we get to Delaware? Yeah, you go up that eastern seaboard. I'm working for a company in Boston. I think we drove from Boston up to Maine. And then you could also, like, what's the rules, right? Like, if you just drive through, if you just fly through DFW, have you been to Texas? Probably not.
Yeah.
But you should. I don't know if you have to spend the night, but get out and do something, right? Go to a restaurant, have an activity. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned California there. You mentioned all the Major League ballparks. There's 9 national parks. I think California has the most. That's a big state, obviously. But just incredible, as you know, part of the world. Sometimes California gets a bad rap here in Texas, but this beautiful, beautiful, from the Redwoods down to the Channel Islands, of course, Yosemite, which is many people's very, very favorite, the great state of California.
I mentioned 44 years in California, and I'm looking at the list of California national parks. I've only been to 2. Redwood Forest, and I've driven through Death Valley.
Yes. Death Valley is another place you probably don't want to show up in June or July.
And it was very, very warm. It was like, okay, I got to get from Arizona to Las Vegas, which goes through Death Valley.
Yeah.
And
the hottest recorded temperature on Earth, 133 degrees. Also the lowest spot in the United States, Death Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those you definitely want to get in and get out.
You remember the old Borax commercials, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so those were filmed in Death Valley.
Huh.
Incredible hikes there. These also volcanic, these lake playas. They have the mysterious floating stones. I don't know if you know about the floating stones. So there's a very, very remote playa, which is basically a lake bed. And these rocks, the rocks the size of this table we're sitting in front of, Steve, will have these trail marks where they've slid across the bottom of this lake bed. People are like, all right, there's no water. You know, how are these rocks just sliding around? And it took a bunch of years. People thought it was space aliens or something, right? That some researchers set up some cameras, and it gets very hot there, but also gets very cold. And a thin layer of ice would encapsulate these massive boulders. And then a big wind event would kind of shift the whole sheet of ice, which would then push the rock and leave this trail in the mud. The mud's super slick, it's like you'll fall down if you're not careful. But this natural phenomenon like that, along with the geography and geology and, of course, the wildlife, these are things you just don't see in Mansfield, Texas, right?
Definitely not. So what is on the calendar for Steve Binkley?
Well, right, so there was a running joke in the family that we don't go back to places, right? If you're always going to what's next. It's like, Dad, we love Death Valley. Okay, well, I'm sorry. We're now going to Acadia and other places. So it's a chance for my wife and I, as you mentioned, she hasn't been to go back and visit some places that we enjoyed. We're going to drive the van to Grand Tetons.
Yeah.
So not a terrible drive, 2 days through Colorado up to Wyoming and see the Tetons. But yeah, the 2 ballparks, right? So this summer we'll go to Sacramento to see the A's, and then back to my hometown in Tampa to see the Rays.
The Rays. Phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
I enjoy talking about it.
It's amazing that all of the national parks, all of the Major League Baseball parks, you got to do the minor league parks then.
I like your thought process
here.
Yeah.
And you visited all 50 states. I mean, you're a young man. I think you're a young man.
Thank you for that.
So, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Any advice for someone who has a list like that?
Of course. I mean, again, that comment about experiences over things, things are things. And now that my wife and I are empty nesters with both boys out of the house, the stuff is just the stuff, right? And it sometimes gets put in closets. And of course, there's some memories around stuff, and kids have trophies and ribbons from all their athletic endeavors. But the photos and, just sitting here talking to you about some of these experiences, those are things that last forever to me. And then, again, kind of bonding. Once you get out inside in nature, you can really bond with the family. These shared experiences, and if you all four of us, 2 boys and my wife, see a bison or heard a bison, I mean, that's special, right? That's special. And then, although she would complain about some of the big hikes and keeping up with the boys in the family, she would admit that those are pretty special experiences, right? Where you've challenged yourself physically and you've accomplished something, and it's something that you can share and talk about for a long time.
The bison brought up. Have you ever seen on Facebook the Turons of Yellowstone?
Getting far too close.
And for those
not a petting zoo.
For those who don't know what a Turon is, it is a tourist who's a moron. And those who want to have their picture taken with the really big cow. And
don't pet the fluffy cow.
Yes.
Incidentally, a quick plug for the state of Texas. We have a state park in central to West Texas called Caprock Canyon.
Yeah.
And they have the largest bison herd outside of Yellowstone. Yeah. And it's right here in Texas, maybe a 3-hour drive. So look that up, Capstone Canyon State Park. It's the very bottom of the Llano Escotado, that Rocky Mountain range, and the erosion. Incredible hikes, big bison herd.
I'm not from around here,
beautiful.
So you're going to be in which 3 hours in which direction?
Yeah, west.
West.
Yes.
3 hours west. So we're headed toward Midland, Odessa.
Yeah. Caprock Canyon.
Caprock Canyon.
Yeah, I think it's just south of Amarillo, which is another Palo Duro Canyon.
Oh, okay.
Is another.
So we're looking northwest.
Northwest, bottom of the Rocky Mountain range.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you want to see bison, that's a close place to do it.
And don't pet them.
Do not pet them. Yeah. Yes.
Anything you want to conclude on? Got any thoughts on your mind? People you want to shout out or closing comments?
No, I mean, the reality is, I love Mansfield. Been here 25 years. We actually have a great park system here, and I'm proud of my neighborhood and the schools my boys grew up in. And just get out and touch grass and look at the sky, and those things kind of bring everybody's blood pressure down. We could all have our blood pressure come down a little bit, right? And I find that being outside in nature and outdoors does that. So we have a great park system here. You, of course, don't have to get on a plane to see nature. But yeah, again, these are public lands. They belong to all of us. They're protected. They're great places for education and learning, and highly recommend our National Park Service to anybody listening today.
Steve Binkley, thanks for being on About Mansfield.
Of course, enjoyed it very much.
Coming up next week, artificial intelligence. It's a frightening topic to many people, and the next wave is in the works. AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. And we'll talk about it in studio with AI expert Vaughn Wynne Jones. In the meantime, this is the place where you'll hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, engage, connect. Support this podcast if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Right there on the homepage, enter your email address. We will never, ever, 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 ever send you any spam. That is my personal promise to you.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. We thank y'all for listening on behalf of the entire news team. I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.